Hello YouTube, Reddit Math here, and welcome back to Jagged Alliance 2, where we still find ourselves in the underground Orta complex, and after a little bit of Googling for what we need to do to Ernest here, we're gonna threaten to rough him up a little bit.
Bloody hell, that's it! I can't work under these conditions. She promised security, secrecy, and a workplace free of interruption. Right. Well, I am not giving my life for her promises.
So, apparently we needed to threaten him 3 times, and we had, only threatened him twice, which wasn't quite enough. We were also standing in the doorway.
Have it your way. I don't have any...
Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Have it your way.
That's hilarious. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do something that I have never really done in the campaign to date, but I don't think it matters all that much. And I'm just going to reload and step out of his way so that his pathing doesn't break there. We're going to try that one more time, and he will then get to walking. Alright, so, oh, interesting. Ernest here is, maybe I had to go get the key? Or he's just really bad at figuring out how he's supposed to get here. Maybe we should get Vicky, out of the way of the door as well.
Standing by.
Alright, and we will start making our way down here as well. Should catch up to him pretty quickly as he is taking his sweet time. Now, come on, get over here. Have a look-see at this door that we can't otherwise open. And we will finally get our bountiful reward. Now, this is probably going to be a rather short episode. Of course, that assumes I don't get, counterattacked, as I have not learned the lesson from the last time I tried to make a really short episode.
You'll find what you want in those crates.
But I think things are going pretty well so far. So, inside the crates, mini rockets. We've got high explosive armor piercing and just regular armor piercing. Heavy explosive mini rockets and a rocket rifle. 2 more rocket rifles. Another rocket rifle. We're up to 4, 5. Rockets. More rockets. And 6. Alright, so we get 6 rocket rifles out of that. Now, what is a rocket rifle, you may be asking? Well, let's take a look here. Let's grab both if we can.
Got it.
Awesome, we did have enough space for that. So, the rocket rifle. Annihilate your opponents with a cutting edge in weapons technology. This rocket rifle comes with its own laser scope and computer security system. Basically like a little kind of rotating chamber of self-propelling rockets and a kind of futuristic little rifle rig for them to go on. They only have 5 shots apiece, and the ammo's kind of hard to come by. We've got a bit of it around here, but I never really know what the intention is with the rocket rifles, to be perfectly honest. I am unlikely, I would say, to really ever use these things. I also need to maybe sort some inventory space in order to really demonstrate any of this. But when it says here that they're that they come with a laser scope and a computer security system, the security system that is being talked about there basically means that as soon as I do this, I put the rocket rifle on and I go to fire my very first shot.
Fingerprint ID acquired.
That's gonna happen. It's a pretty cool little robotic voice, I'm not gonna lie. But what that does is, that was an odd way to say that word, right? What that does is,
Standing by.
if I take the rocket rifle and I hand this off to Vicky here after it's already been fingerprint ID'd with Coyote, and I try to shoot it.
Invalid fingerprint ID. Weapon non-functional.
that's going to happen. Now, that's not really any kind of advantage to the player character. I really find, it's only a disadvantage in the sense that the enemies that might have rocket rifles are not something you can really loot and get anything out of. Of course, we've gone most of the game without really seeing them. I think we've been shot at once by a rocket rifle, and I made a comment at the time. And had we been, somehow sneakier when we were breaking into Alma, that explosion that happened on the weapons range, that was actually a rocket rifle as well. But other than that, they don't really pop up all that often. The weapon itself, it's good. If I remember correctly, they don't have a lot of spaces for attachments. You can put a 2x scope on it. Like that's about all it will, not about all, that is all it will accept. And especially maybe the 1.13 with all of the crazy different attachments that are available now, you can probably come up with guns that are a lot better than this, especially with, it only accepting 5 rounds in the chamber at a time. But I do want to go ahead and show off, here's what it looks like when it shoots. That was pretty cool. So, kudos for that. It definitely gets extra points for the contrail that tracks behind each of the rocket rounds. It is, a rocket rifle, right? It's right there in the name. So I understand the mechanics behind what is actually being shot out of it. But I always thought, and it super reminds me of the guns from the movie Eraser. If you're unfamiliar, 1996, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Vanessa Williams, James Caan. Probably a film that doesn't hold up very well. I will admit to not having seen it in about a decade or so. But there were, I think they were referred to as EM pulse rifles in that game. Or in that movie. But they were basically railguns. And why a railgun would do this, I don't know. But when the railguns were fired, they left these kind of concentric rings that would follow along behind them. And it super reminds me of that whenever I shoot these. And of course, Jagged Alliance 2 came out, just 3 years later. So I feel like Eraser would have been in the public consciousness. Of course, we don't have a lot of rounds for this thing. Maybe I shouldn't go around shooting it all the time. I think I'm going to give this to my A team, maybe as their backup weapons. By my A team, who that even is anymore has become a little bit muddled. But my still yet living animal themed characters, Coyote, Lynx, Fox, Grizzly. That gives me 4. Maybe Raven should join that team. She's a bird. I like birds. Birds could be cool. Other than that, I don't really have a lot. Man, even more deaths coming up soon. So, yeah, maybe I'll give them to those guys just to kind of have. Obviously, due to the fingerprint ID, can't go passing them around. There is a way to strip the fingerprint ID off of a locked rifle if you need to reassign it and use it. It is a bit convoluted, but there's an electronics store. You can go there and he can take them off for you for a certain price. So yeah, that is the rocket rifle in a nutshell. I'm gonna get these guys distributed out to my team. I'm gonna have a cool little backup weapon or something. The limited amount of ammunition I have for them and, the 2 rounds I just put into that wall aren't helping much. But we don't have mini rockets. Many rockets, by the way. One of those had an A and the other an I in it. So that means I don't really see them being used as a primary weapon. I think maybe if you really loved the rocket rifle and wanted to, you might be able to get away with one character using it and sort of dumping all the ammo on him. Get him maybe 30 shots or so. Of course, by the time you're taking Orda, you're pretty close to that home stretch of just kind of rocking your way into Meduna. So maybe it would hold up for a little while then. Maybe not. Who knows? Alright guys, I know this was a short episode, but I just needed to kind of finish up the last task there in order. We've got a number of characters that are pretty banged up anyway, so I am going to have to take probably a week or so in-game to get everybody all doctored up before we start our march south. We've of course got some friendly little question mark guys heading our way. But things aren't looking too bad. I wouldn't mind some of our mobile militia maybe moseying their way over here to give us a little bit of an assist. But if they don't, I think things will be fine. We've got plenty of bodies to throw at the city, and hopefully we can end up crushing the Queen's tyrannical rule before too long. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to subscribe. There will be more videos on the channel every day. Leave a like or a comment if you have anything to say about this or any other episodes, and I will catch you guys next time.